So I've noticed that when I'm checking my videos and I'm looking at the progress of how many views I've gotten so far, I noticed that anytime I mention MGTOW or IBMOR, or I talk about both subjects or one or the other, I tend to attract more viewers. Okay, so yes, MGTOW and IBMOR are both very popular topics of discussion in the manosphere for YouTube. And I do talk. I haven't made a MGTOW video in a while, but my channel is much more than just that. I'm talking about other topics that would benefit men if they listen to the advice and whatnot. And not only that, if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, you can definitely say something. Let me know if there's something you didn't appreciate. You could criticize me. Um, you could thumbs up it. You could thumbs down. You can also share and subscribe as well. Yeah, that's a helicopter. So anyhow, so what MGTOW has did for me. Now I haven't made a MGTOW video in a long time because I'm busy talking about other subjects at hand. But I got started off on MGTOW because from Tom Likas through the suggestion of one of my friends. At the time, I was dating this raggedy, fat, nasty, stinking, pussy, stinking, loser ass black bitch. That was back during one of my very low points in life. I had graduated college a few years earlier in Tennessee. I'm originally from Orange County, Southern California. So I grew up a certain way with a certain standard, certain culture, a certain way of looking at things. Of course, I'm always, you know, been a learner. I've always wanted to, study different types of things and research different things that I could considered interesting and whatnot. But yeah, I had just graduated college a few years prior to dating this raggedy whore, and I had moved back out to California. And I was just in a major situation with my dad. He promised that I could stay with him until I could get a job and save up money, and then I could move out. That didn't work out as planned. My dad wasn't supportive of me. That's a long story. So I basically was struggling, and this was in the middle of the recession. This was 2009, and around that time I had just been homeless for like, I think the third time, and I had no help from my dad. He was just being a piece of shit, just not there for me at all. This is what messes black people up, because we don't have any real support from our own people. That's what I'm talking about. That's one of the reasons why I don't get along with black people, because we're too fucking selfish. So my friend, who's Mexican American, he suggested Tom Likas. After me just complaining and complaining to him about this raggedy whore, at that time I got down on myself and stopped believing myself, and I gave up on life. I did not think I could do any better. I started doing things that I'd never done before. I started smoking weed. I'm not a weed smoker. That's not what I do. Um, and that was like the worst drug that I did. I didn't do anything worse than that. I started drinking more. Um, I just didn't believe in myself. And I felt like this was the best I could do, and I was stuck here with this raggedy black bitch. And a lot of black men go through that. A lot of black men stop believing themselves. A lot of black men probably never believed in themselves in the first place. At that time, it wasn't MGTOW, it wasn't IBMOR. I mean, IBMOR hadn't been developed at that time. Most of the people calling themselves IBMOR now, the founders of IBMOR, like Algadun Forest and Truth Squad, they were still MGTOW at the time. They was black MGTOW. And at that time, I hadn't even heard of them at that time, even though they was probably already making videos. I heard of Tom Likas first. Most black men that I ever knew, their life revolves around pussy. Pussy is everything for them in the black culture. If you're a heterosexual man and you not getting any pussy or you don't have a girlfriend, then it's like you're not a man. That's it. So a lot of black men, and I kind of felt this way because that's how I was brought up. That's how I thought. That's what I thought. That's how I looked at things. So, a lot of black men are so desperate to have a girl beside them. They don't want to look gay. They think that will make them look gay. They consider it almost gay, really. And so they're willing to be desperate and be thirsty and for any kind of pussy and put up with bullshit from bitches. And Tom Likas basically said, fuck that. Now, Tom Likas was like, oh, so you could still deal with women, you could still meet women, go out and fuck them and all that. But Tom Likas basically put men up on game and brought it to men's attention of all races, men of all races, that this is how you go about dealing with women. And it's applicable to all men, all heterosexual men, even black men. Although black women, they're a special case. They're a certain kind of a beast. But you do need to know women's nature, and you can apply that to any woman you're dealing with. But black women, that's a whole nother deal. In addition to female nature, something that a black man would have to deal with, of course, if he's dealing with a black woman. So, but yeah, Tom Likas opened my eyes. This was not my first red pill moment. I had already experienced the red pill moment like years before, back when I was in high school. But again, at that time, I was still young and naive. I just was getting started learning about women, and I just went for the propaganda and the bullshit of, oh, be a nice guy, be a gentleman. That never worked. And you could see that even back in high school. If you are a teenage boy, or if you're an adolescent or a young adult male, I suggest you continue listening to my videos. I'm actually making videos, so if there's any young boys out there, or not young like 5 years old, no, I'm talking about if you're like 12 or 13 or 14 and you're in high school, you're just now starting high school, I'm the person that can give you advice, because from what I could tell, I don't know of anybody on YouTube that's giving advice helping young teenage boys, and they're teaching them about female nature. No one taught me. Well, actually my uncles taught me, but again, I was surrounded by women. I was raised by women. They tried to keep me from being around my uncles. They've always tried to make me believe that my uncles are a bad influence, which to a certain degree, well, yeah, my uncles were a bad influence, but my uncles knew how to deal with women. So yeah, I'm gonna start making videos about that, more so for the teenagers, so you guys can, I know you. I'm not gonna tell you not to deal with women, because of course you want to deal with women. But the thing is, we all need to learn how to deal with women, and no one has taught us. Our dads, our fathers didn't teach us, and that's if we had fathers. Those of us who didn't have fathers, those of us who's raised by women or single mothers, teaching us the wrong thing. So I'm here to tell you, uh, listen to my channel, but as a reference, my reference, and this is to all young adolescent, teenage men, young boys, you should go to Tom Likas. Start off with listening to his videos. Likas 101. You know, he I basically accepted everything that Tom Likas said because it was the truth. And then after I invested in a USB drive, um, I went to Walgreens. I invested in a USB drive, and I used that so I could go to the library because I didn't own a computer at the time, and I just downloaded all of Tom Likas videos because I felt it would be a good archive of and catalog of information for other young boys, young men, and simps who want to reform their ways. So that's what I did. And then I listened to Barbarossa. He's also one of the big boys of MGTOW. And the first video I listened to of his was called "How Women Destroy Men," and that is a classic. And I suggest anyone listening to this video, if you're familiar with Barbarossa, okay, that's good. But if you're not familiar with Barbarossa and you're new to my channel and you're new to MGTOW, you should check out Barbarossa as well. Barbarossa, How Women Destroy Men. It's not long, it's like 7 minutes long, but it's very potent information. And I was like, wow, because I knew that was the truth. Women will destroy men, unknowingly. So you have to prepare yourself and not let that happen if you're going to continue to deal with women. And you should deal with women if you're not gay. So that's just my advice on that. And that's what MGTOW did for me. And I just listened to a lot of other MGTOW people, Stardust, Sandman, and there's many others. Once you start listening to these people, you listen to a few of their videos, and you keep on listening to their videos, then more and more people's topics of discussion will appear who are MGTOW. And that's how I learn. I don't just stop with one person. I listen to what they say, and I make a decision for myself at the end of the day after viewing and listening to all their information. And then I want to hear what the next man says. That's how you learn. That's how you get information. That's how you grow. And that's all I want to say for now. You guys have a good night. This is Neck of the Woods. I'm out.